What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Taste Like Music. Jason and Joe here, Jethro Tull week. We've ranked the 23 albums of Jethro Tull. If you haven't seen that video, go check it out. Should be up on the channel now. And now we're each going to give you our 10 favorite songs. We're going to take turns going back and forth. I started the albums ranking, so I will start this as well. My number 10 is Home. Great ballad from Stormwatch. I think it's got a really great melody, really strong vocals. I love how it lifts with the strings, and there's some really cool guitar leads in there as well to kind of punctuate things. I think the track just builds really well. Other bands, I think, may have gone full on power ballad with this, but Tull maintain a level of class with it. It's really well executed.
All right, to my pick for number 10, which is the track before your track. Orion from Stormwatch is my number 10. Starts off, big and heavy. It's got this nautical feel. Ian Anderson's kind of working with a rougher vocal range here. It's a little salty edge to it. It's got some just gorgeous piano that comes in, and maybe my favorite orchestration in the whole catalog from Dee Palmer. Just very cinematic. Just really great track from Stormwatch.
My number 9 is Aqualung. Love it. Opening riff is just iconic and classic, and I love how the verse breaks down with just the acoustic guitar and vocals, and the vocals have that like filtered effect, like megaphone or telephone kind of sound to them. And the way it builds back up from there, just great dynamics. And I always forget about when I think of the song in my mind, I think of the riff mainly, and the whole sitting on a park bench line and all that part of the song. And I always forget about like the kind of like downhill like piano going crazy part of the song. And yeah, the piano playing is great. There's a killer guitar solo on it, and it's all around a great track.
All right, my number 9, and this is one of 3 from this album. Black Satin Dancer. I don't know, it's like a prog song. It's in 3/4 times. It's like a waltz as well. Barr has one of his best guitar solos here. Like a lot of the songs on Minstrel, it goes, from like one dynamic to another, just in a nice build. And this one goes, starts out really pretty. It gets kind of spooky and proggy, and the band's just incredible form. Combination of folk and prog, I think, is just, I can say this about all the tracks basically on Minstrel in the Gallery, but just it works together so well the way that they balance both of those very disparate, like very, they do not go together normally, but the way they manage to combine the two works really, really well here.
I was thinking about Jethro Tull, and like I know all of their hits. I know what the most well-known songs are on every record, but I don't really know which deep cuts are like the fan favorites. And if this one's not, I think it should be Checkered Flag. It's the closing track from Too Old to Rock and Roll. Just epic, sweeping album closer with swelling strings. To me, I just think it's just got this incredible feel to it. It feels like an ELO song to me or something. It almost doesn't even feel like Jethro Tull, but it's super cool.
All right, my number 8 is a song that doesn't really sound like Jethro Tull. Sounds like a Procol Harum and Cream with a flute. Reasons for Waiting from Stand Up. Just a really interesting, hazy, psychedelic sounding song. It's got that really evocative flute refrain that comes in. I think it's like doubled or something, because it doesn't sound just like a flute, like Ian Anderson's flute. It's kind of thicker and bigger. And it's got some really bright, nice acoustic guitar playing. Got some great organ adding color. No drums or bass. So it's a very singular sounding track, and it's got a really great 60s orchestral arrangement as well that brings in the dramatics, the big swells that just kind of take it to the next level.
Number 7 for me is Locomotive Breath. Just an epic intro and that build up, and then you get the palm muted chugging. It's just badass. It really feels like a train coming at you, and I think it's one of Ian Anderson's best flute solos on this track as well. So yeah.
All right, from the same album, I got Aqualung, my number 7. That opening riff, it's just such a great, indelible, mean sounding riff. I think Ian sounds scuzzy. He sounds like the vagrant on the cover of the album. Like he's got that bite to him. It's not clean, it's not pretty. Someone with a more, conventional voice probably couldn't pull it off, at least not nearly as well. And Martin Barr's just throwing in some great workmanlike riffs. The piano and the acoustic just works so well together. It rocks hard, but it's also pretty sounding, and it achieves, the classic Jethro Tull, just mean, hard-edged, but with just a really great sounding, instrumentation to it. And yeah, there's a great guitar solo. It's got some killer piano. It has everything. It has it all.
Number 6 for me is Too Old to Rock and Roll, Too Young to Die. I think it's a really strong piece of focused songwriting. I dig the ideas that the lyrics are dealing with. I think it's catchy. I love the arrangement too. The strings are great, and there's like some Barry sax that creeps in at one point, and it goes to like this fast rocking outro at the end. And yeah, I've always liked this song a lot. I had a compilation that I got from like a dollar bin somewhere where every song had the word rock and roll in the title, and the words rock and roll. And this was on there. So yeah, I've liked this song ever since then.
It's a weird compilation right there. Number 6, I'm gonna go with Pussy Willow from Broadsword and the Beast. I think this is where Martin kind of starts bringing in like a little bit of the Mark Knopfler sound to his guitar, because like you kind of get that in there. But this is a really just pretty, like, a little fairy tale kind of sound to it. It's got some 80s production, especially in the drums and the bass, but it's built on like this very folky, whimsical sounding tune, that, it really should not work. Like those two things shouldn't work, but that's what Jethro Tull does. They bring together things that should not work. The dichotomous sound it creates is excellent. And the fact, this sound could literally only come from between 1980 and 1984 makes it all the more special to me. So representing Broadsword and the Beasts a little bit here. Gotta get in.
My number 5 is Songs from the Wood. Love the acapella intro, especially to open the album. Really sets up the folky, woodsy mood of the record. The drum and bass grooves are so badass. The musicianship overall just, I think, seems to have like leveled up when they get to this record. The playing on it's fantastic, and yeah, it's a great song.
My number 5, Songs from the Wood. How lovely. Uh, the intro, like the acapella, the vocal layering and everything is just so silly, but so awesome at the same time. Like I thought it was lame at first, and then I just couldn't get it out of my head. I kept listening to it. I wish they did a little bit more of that vocal interplay throughout their catalog, but I'll take it here. And then once the instrument kicks in, it gets twisty and proggy and heavy, along with that folky kind of bass to it, that portable pipe organ, the various keys that come in. It's just a really, complex mix of all these instruments, and the way they make it sound kind of fun and, you know, lighthearted and, spirited at times. It's just very impressive to me.
Number 4 for me is Hymn 43, possibly my favorite Ian Anderson vocal performance ever. He sounds so intense on this track. And I think this song is also a great Martin Barr highlight as well. He's got some sick riffs and a great solo on this track. So,
Yes, I'm glad to see that one there. Number 4, Cold Wind to Valhalla. Love the sound of the acoustic. Just the tone that Ian Anderson gets on his acoustic guitar is just phenomenal throughout the whole catalog. Once the other instruments kind of join in, you get that trademark folk meets prog. This is the one with some awesome slide guitar work on it. Really works with this one. The drumming phenomenal. I think Minstrel in the Gallery is Barrymore Barlow's best drumming performance. He's just pounding the drums. And yeah, it's a nice hard rock bass and proggy kind of twistiness and folk underneath. And it's just wacky combination that works, just totally works.
My number three is One White Duck, 0 to the 10th power equals nothing at all. A folky acoustic ballad. I just love the melody to this. That's pretty much all that this is on my list. I think it's just a phenomenal melody. It's so good. It almost reminds me of like a Cat Stevens song or something like that. I think it's just lovely.
Well, number three, you have this one, Locomotive Breath. Obviously, it has to be on the list. It is just such a great rendition of a train, and not the band, the shitty band train, an actual train. Just the way they channel the sound is really impressive. The chick, chick, chick of the muted guitars, that chugging rhythm from Jeffrey Hammond's bass, uh, Barr's electric flourishes, perhaps the finest flute solo in rock history. It's just such an expressive, perfectly crafted, just immaculate hard rock tune. Or should I say track? I'll say track, hard rock track.
All right, my number two is Cross-Eyed Mary, fourth and final pick from Aqualung for my list. Just a monstrous track. The organ, guitar, and bass just sound huge. The chorus riff is so awesome. The drum groove is killer with the cowbell. It's just all so good.
That one just missed my list. I didn't want to just only have Aqualung songs. My number two, Minstrel in the Gallery. My favorite of their big epic prog rock numbers. I just love the three very disparate sections, the ye old folk introduction, that erratic bar prog electric guitar showcase with those whiplash-inducing changes, and incredible drums, and great bass work. And then I think it kicks into maybe their best hard rock song outside of Aqualung. The way it all works together, or doesn't even work together, just the song itself, the three sections, they could be totally separate songs, but they're not. It's just one song, and I love all three sections, so it's my number two favorite.
All right, number one for me. People are going to think this is a weird pick for number one, but I don't know what to tell you. Skating Away on the Thin Ice of a New Day is my favorite Jethro Tull song. I love the lighter, folkier side of the band, and I think this is a great example of that. And there's so much weird stuff going on this track that doesn't happen anywhere else in their catalog, really. There's xylophone, there's like some kind of like talking drum percussion thing. There's accordion on it, but there's accordion other places in their catalog. But I don't know. I think the vocals, or the way they're just like so crystal clear, I think they really showcase Ian Anderson's unique vocal approach, and I think it's super catchy. It's one of those songs that like anytime I hear it, guaranteed it will be in my head for a couple days. So yeah, I just think it's great.
I got to give a shout out to Cheap Day Return, which is too short to make it into my top 10 list, but might be my favorite like minute in the whole catalog. But barring that, my number one, Hymn 43. I think it's Anderson's best vocal performance. He's mean, he's venomous, he's full of bile. He takes on organized religion. I love the interplay between the piano and the guitar, the way they kind of trade back and forth. So much energy, and it's only 3 minutes and 20 seconds. It's not, it's kind of an atypical Jethro Tull song because it just kicks in like right from the get-go. Like there's no build up or intro. It's just boom. Not a wasted moment on here. And I just think it's a killer hard rock song with flute. Like it, it's a great song, and then there's flute, and perhaps Barr's best solo as well. So a really cool song that, from the very first time I heard it, it's just been stuck in my head. So yeah, it is my favorite Jethro Tull song. It was in my songs of the year for 71, and it charted for whatever. It was like 96 on the Billboard Hot 100, but I think it is a just killer song.
Okay, there you go. Those are our top 10 favorite songs. Let us know what we missed. There's a lot of great songs that we couldn't fit in. Let us know what your own top 10 is. You can drop all that in the comments. Hit the like button, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Check back. We will be having one more Jethro Tull related video. Yeah, and check the video description for Patreon and social media and all that stuff. Follow us in all those places, and we will see you in the next one.